Hello, welcome to a new video. So this is a video I'm going to be ranking classic Doctor Who from basically from season 1 all the way down to season 26. So I'm going to be doing season 1 first. And now season 1 was actually broadcast from the 23rd of November 1963 all the way up to the 12th of September 1964, and it is Doctor Who's greatest season. Well, if it wasn't for this season actually working, we wouldn't have Doctor Who now, and it is literally a really good Doctor Who season. So enjoy this video as I'm going to be ranking classic Doctor Who season 1 to season 26. So starting off with season 1. So to start off this amazing, incredible season, we have got an amazing 4-part story of Doctor Who, the Unearthly Child, and this was actually broadcast from the 23rd of November 1963 to the 14th of December 1963, and it is literally truly a good Doctor Who story. Ian and Barbara, you can tell they don't like the Doctor from their first encounter. Well, considering he does kidnap him in the TARDIS and then takes it back into the past. It is such an incredible story, and it all starts off with them investigating the Doctor's granddaughter Susan, as they need answers to her and how she knows stuff, like basically about the 4th dimension and other sort of stuff, especially when she's like a Gallifreyan. At this point in the show, we had no idea that the Doctor was a Time Lord, that he was on the planet Gallifrey. This is just how the mystery starts for the Doctor, and it's literally an incredible story. Part 1, which is the pilot, is truly amazing Doctor Who story. It's literally one of the best season openers of Doctor Who. Truly good. Part 1 is truly amazing, where it's set on 1963 London. Ian and Barbara are there investigating Susan. They make their way to the TARDIS. The Doctor tries to stop him. They're forced way into the TARDIS, and he literally makes one of the TARDIS consoles alive. She goes, and Susan goes, "Don't touch it, it's live," to Ian, and he literally electrocutes Ian. Barbara tells him off, and he goes, yes, you, because he doesn't want people to know about the ship. And at this point in the show, he calls the TARDIS the ship, and Susan says that she invented TARDIS by calling it time relative dimension in space, and it's literally a good. Part 1 is truly amazing. Then when you go into episodes 2, 3 and 4, where they go back into the caveman era, this story does kind of go a lot boring downwards for me. I only watched this for the pilot episode because it's truly an amazing and a great introduction story to the Doctor, aka played by the incredible William Hartnell. It's truly a fantastic Doctor Who story, one of the best ones up to date. It's truly a really good Doctor Who story. Is literally just a really fantastic Doctor Who story. So ranking this episode, I have to say part 1 is 10 out of 10, and then episode 2 is 5 out of 10, episode 3 is another 5 out of 10, and episode 4 is another 5 out of 10. But episode 1 is mainly a 10 out of 10, and truly an amazing epic Doctor Who story. Part 1 is the best, and the way it starts off is just brilliantly done. So the next story is the Daleks, and this was broadcast from the 21st of December 1963 to the 1st of February 1964, and this is 7 parts long. It is the best introduction story to the Daleks. It is the very first ever Dalek story, and it is truly one of the best Dalek stories out there. After the events with them running from the caveman people in The Unearthly Child, the TARDIS ends up landing on the planet Skaro, and it encounters 2 alien races called the Fowls and the Daleks. Well, technically the Daleks were supposed to be called the Dowls, and then when Genesis of the Daleks was written, they kind of changed the name from the Dowls to the Khalids, which I don't understand why. But again, though, this is truly an amazing Doctor Who story. The Daleks are brilliant in this. It's why they came in such an amazing fill-in for Doctor Who, and it ends up with 2 Peter Cushing movies and some other, with the Daleks appearing through all of the Doctor's regenerations on screen. It's truly an amazing Doctor Who story, the Daleks is. It's literally all 7 parts in this is 10 out of 10. It's just truly amazing, and it shows how dominating and scary the Daleks can be. And this is their very first outing in Doctor Who, and it's truly a really good one as well. And I just love it. Daleks in this is literally a fantastic one, and they want to exterminate the fowls, and it's literally just a brilliant Doctor Who episode. So for Doctor Who and the Daleks is literally a 10 out of 10 all around, and this is one of the Dalek stories I do go back and watch a lot of time, especially when I'm watching having a whole Dalek marathon, which sometimes admittedly I do have marathons to each of the Doctor, like marathons to the Daleks, marathons for the Cybermen, the Autons, the Master, so on and so on. So when I'm watching the Daleks marathon, I literally start off this one, and it is literally a masterpiece, and it shows how the Daleks become so big. In the 60s, they had a whole thing about the Daleks called Dalek Mania. It's literally just one of the best Doctor Who stories, and it's a 10 out of 10 for all 6 parts. All amazing 6 parts of this story is literally 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, each episode for this story has got different names to them, so it's not called the Daleks. So for example, if I just say it to you, so you've got the Dead Planet, the Savages, the Escape, the Ambush, the Expedition, the Order, and the Rescue. It's just all in this incredible 7-part story. The Daleks are literally amazing, and I love the Daleks in this story. It's truly a good one, and this is the best second story ever to Doctor Who in a season or series. So the next story was actually broadcast from the 8th to the 15th of February 1964, and it is The Edge of Destruction. And this is an actual 2 parts long, and the episodes in this is actually called The Edge of Destruction and The Blink of Disaster. And basically it ends up with the TARDIS end up going back into time. I think it's basically back to the beginning of the universe, where it shows them leaving Skaro, the solar system getting smaller and then smaller and then smaller, then a massive blurred. So when it, and also on the TARDIS which it shows the companions dynamic. It shows that the Doctor doesn't trust Ian and Barbara. Susan doesn't trust Ian and Barbara as well in this. They're all blaming each other until the Doctor ends up apologising at the end of this 2-part story. It is a good Doctor Who story, I have to admit. It's a good one, but for me, Edge of Destruction is literally a 5 out of 10. It's not as biggy as most of the other Doctor Who stories that is to come along. So, Edge of Destruction, 5 out of 10. So next up in season 1 is a missing Doctor Who story, and it is Doctor Who Marco Polo, which I actually got the Target novel book to this. I am actually really proud I've got this one, because it's the 4th Doctor Who story. It is the first missing Doctor Who story. This was actually over 7 parts, and the 7 parts in this was The Roof of the World, The Sinking Sands, 500 Eyes, The Web of Lies, Riders of Shengtu, The Mighty Kumbar Khan, Assassin at Pinking. And it's, from what I've read from this book, it is the very first actual historian Doctor Who story they've actually ever did. It is a brilliant Doctor Who story. It's literally just a brilliant one. It's a shame this story is actually missing, and it is literally devastating that this story is actually missing. I really wish it would exist. And it was broadcast between the 15th of February to the 11th of April, so mainly the week before the 11th of April and the week after the 15th of February. It's such an incredible Doctor Who story, it really is, from what I've read about it, and I do hope this story does get animated at some point for us fans to collect and to enjoy watching, and then we can have season 1 complete on DVD. Next up it is The Key of Madness, and this was broadcast between the 11th of April to the 16th of May 1964, and again this is 6 parts long. It is a brilliant Doctor Who story. It's actually kind of one of the best ones, I think, so far. It is literally one of the best ones. It is literally one of the best well, it's not. It is a good one. It's a very good one. The Doctor and the companion Ian and Barbara and Susan have to hunt for the keys of madness. It is a good story. It's a good 6-part story. I love these creatures there. They're the villains in this, and it's truly a good Hartnell story. It's a good companion story, and it literally And it literally shows them that the Doctor is trying to get Ian and Barbara back to Earth. It's literally just another good Doctor Who story. The Key is, I'm afraid, it is a good story, but for the ranking purposes, I have to say it's a 6 out of 10. Next up, it is the Aztecs, broadcast from the 23rd of May to the 11th of June 1964. And it is the second historian Doctor Who story, 4 parts long. It's truly amazing. The Aztecs mistaken Barbara for this goddess. It's truly a good Doctor Who story. It's literally a really, really fantastic one. I do love the Aztecs. This one and the Daleks I would go back and rewatch from season 1. It's truly a good one, and the Doctor kind of gets a little bit married in this one, which into a very, very, very young girl in this, and he's an old man. But the Aztecs don't really care in this, and I love the ending when they're trying to escape back into the tomb to try and get back to the TARDIS and then leave. It's just such a good episode, and it has, and literally you have the Aztecs trying to kill Barbara for thinking and calling her a fake goddess that she actually is. But it's truly a good Doctor Who story. It's a good historian story as well, especially a line where the Doctor goes to Barbara, "You can't change history, not one line." It's just such a good Doctor Who story, and this is an actual 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the Aztecs. Next up, it is the Aztecs, and this was broadcast from the 11th of June to the 1st of... Hang on. So next up, it is the Aztecs, and it was broadcast from the 11th of June to the 1st of August 1964. And it is another good Doctor Who story, actually. This is another good one. The TARDIS arrives on the Sensorite sphere. The Sensorite steer the keys to the TARDIS. They're locked. The TARDIS stop the companion, the Doctor and Ian and Barbara and Susan trying to get into the TARDIS, and it's a good one. It's a really, really good one. They are blaming the humans for something in this. It's been a while since I watched this story, actually. It's actually been quite a while. I haven't watched this one in a long time, really. I think no, hang on. Yeah, back in January. I haven't watched this story since January. And it's, from what I remember of it, it is truly a classic Doctor Who story. One of the best ones, really. And this story kind of just get referenced in the series 4 story of the Planet of the Ood, where they end up, the Doctor saying he's close to the Neversphere, which is where the Sensorites live, and he hasn't been there since his first incarnation. And this is truly a good Doctor Who story, one of the best ones for season 1. It's literally really good, and it's a 10 out of 10, this one is. So next up, it is the Reign of Terror. It is the last story of the season. This is another 6-parter, and it was broadcast from the 20th of... Next up, it is the Reign of Terror, and it was broadcast from the 8th of August to the 12th of September 1964, and it's the last story of season 1. It is truly another classic Doctor Who story. It is truly another classic one, it really is. The TARDIS lands in the French Revolution, and this is the Doctor's favourite time period for the first Doctor. Ian does nearly get beheaded in this story, and of course episodes 4 and 5 of the story is actually missing, but the BBC have animated it and released it onto DVD for us fans to enjoy. And it's the second Hartnell story to be animated for the missing episodes. And what can I say about it? It's literally truly a classic Doctor Who story. Literally one of the... To rank this story, I have to say it's kind of a 5 out of 10. It does get a bit carried out, a little bit too much in this story, but it is truly an amazing story. So, ranking Doctor Who season 1, it's kind of brilliant. It's a brilliant story. I'm gonna just add Marco Polo to this into the slot here. It's another good Doctor Who season. It's the one that starts off Doctor Who, and it starts it off with a bang, with the Unearthly Child pilot being a 10 out of 10 and the rest being all 5 out of 10. The Daleks all along is 10 out of 10, and then you got a 5 out of 10 for the Edge of Destruction. Marco Polo, from what I've read of the book, it's literally a 10, well, an 8 out of 10 really, from what I've read of the book, but I'm hoping it does get animated and I do get a chance to watch it. The Keys of Madness is a 5 out of 10. The Aztecs, a 10 out of 10. The Sensorites, again 10 out of 10. The Reign of Terror, a 5 out of 10. Season 1 has got a lot of average episodes in this season, and as I said, it is a good, enjoyable Doctor Who season. To say this, the two stories I will go back to watch is the Daleks and the Aztecs. That's the only two I would actually go back to watch from this season, and maybe the pilot episode for the Unlucky Child. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe and share to my channel, and I hope you all have a good day, and stay tuned for season 2, which might be coming up either today or tomorrow. I am going to try and get these videos done out of the day because we've got 26 seasons, so I might do two rankings a day, or I haven't made my mind up yet. So Doctor Who ranking season 1, it's a really good season. It's a really good season and I love it. So thank you for watching.